Hello, I'm Dwight Norris of FishNetwork.com, and this is another day of fishing live. Now, what I'm trying to do here is figure out if there's any fish, hitting the shoreline here. And usually, when you get toward later spring or obviously the summer, you can see the fish just you know roaming up and down the sides of the river or the esplanade or wherever you are in your local area. And that means they're spawning, or they spawned already most likely. But you'll be quite surprised the spawning happens a little earlier than you think. Sometimes the spawning beds are a little further out into the water, 5, maybe sometimes even 10 feet for some fish, and you'll never know that they're sitting there just waiting for something to come down and give them a quick snack, or they get pissed off at it and they just try to kick it out of the way. Sometimes that requires them to pick it up, and that picking up of your lure to move it away from their spawning bed feels like weightlessness in the lure. Now, if you've done any kind of like a wacky rig or a floating worm or something suspended, and you have constant pressure on the actual lure, and then all of a sudden you feel nothing, either you're hung on something and you don't know it yet, the line's actually stuck on something, which removes the weight of the lure, or there's a fish there. Now, I don't have lures today. I'm using live worms, but I'm gonna go a little further down and see if I see any fish roaming. And if I don't, I'm just gonna pop my butt down and see if I can't get something to bite a little further out and check that out. But I've been hearing that the fish are out, at least at the Mystic River, and possibly here at the Charles River as well. And they're starting to come up into the shallows. But I can't see them yet. That doesn't mean they're there. So let's check this out. So we're setting up shop here, and we got a little Zepco Doc Demon. We've got a hook that's about to go in my eye, and we've got our little weight here. Pick the smallest container of worms I can find, which are these trout worms. They're not really much different. They have a different insides. It's like a yellowish liquid instead of a regular worm's inside. But the fish bite them anyway. For bluegills, bass, doesn't really matter. I haven't found much difference in worms, except when it comes to night crawlers and bloodworms. Bloodworms are coveted, and as you can see from the price, they must get the job done. So let's set up and see what happens. Now, while I was putting this worm on, a fish just jumped right out there like 3 times, which is right where lily pads are usually are. Right now, there's no lily pads here on the esplanade, but I know they're just below the surface or starting to grow, just like all those little tulips in your front yard are growing. So when I throw this weight in there, I know it's going to get hung on the beginning, little roots of them. So I have to remain vigilant to not like yank at everything. I'm going to wait for the actual fish, whatever it is, to take it rather than try to be proactive. So I'm going to toss it right where that fish dropped it and see what happens. Wow, I threw it right on top of it. But, not everything eats a worm or wants to eat a worm all the time. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say something is going to bite today. Like it's going to be like a secret, like nobody sees any fish. Doesn't look like anything's happening. You don't see them roaming the shoreline. And then boom, I'm going to light them up. That's always my dream. Stuck on a lily pad already. Or a rock. All right. Here, fishy, fishy. In an effort to make these videos short, I'm going to start cutting out all of the, me messing around and things people don't want to see so they can get to the action, if there is any action, because nothing's really guaranteed when you're fishing at work. You have a small amount of time. You have a lower amount of lures and rod and whatever else selection, so you have to be very definitive about what the fish are biting on. But you have to do your test first. You have to test. Are they biting live stuff, or are they biting lures? Are they biting the jerkbaits? Are they biting the worms? Are they biting the crankbaits, or who knows what? But it's best to try everything out and listen to the local fishermen and see what each fish type is biting on. Now, I still don't have a bite. And after a minute, most fishermen get frustrated. But I'm going to sit here for my time allotted, cast around a little bit from the fish here. This is the corner way back in the day where I snagged a carp. And there's lily pads everywhere, and I thought running a frog bait here would just give me tons of action, but places where I caught all the fish on the frogs was like open water. Frogs coming off the shoreline and then going into the water. And within a couple feet, a bass would just smash it. But action over a lily pad, that only happened in like Medford. That Medford only swimming slash pond area, I forget what it's called. That's also a video, so go back, see that. Go to my YouTube channel and search for Medford, and you'll see it. Let's go. All right. No tapping of the bluegill. Great. But, like I've said many times, sometimes the fish are going to bite, and sometimes they aren't, or they aren't there. And you have to live with that. Not every day is going to be a great fishing day, especially when you're fishing at work. You have a limited time. You have a certain place you can go to, but you can choose that place if you have the allotted area around you. As you can see here, I'm in the city. It's a big river going through here. It's a nice esplanade. You might be up or down on the river, and maybe you have access to the sea. Maybe you have access to some ponds near you where you live. That's all cool. But if you aren't doing this, what are you doing? You're sitting at your desk, looking at Facebook, or who knows what, trying to figure out a way to make more money because the boss won't give you a raise or a promotion or whatnot. Maybe you're going to that local restaurant or that was weird, some food truck. It's delicious, and you go every day. You're like, that's cool. I really like to do that. That's cool. That's cool. But what if you could be fishing? Why not take that option? Why not take that chance? Try it out. Try it out once. In my previous video, I talked about why aren't you trying this? It's very simple. It's very easy. I've told many people, and about half of them said, "Yeah, I need that," or "Yeah, I'm doing that," or "This is dumb. Why are you telling people that?" Because some people don't know. Some people don't understand that it's possible, and they need to know. So I just tell them, you have free time, or you're using your time in an effective way. You want to go fishing more. You think you can't go fishing more. So use that time to go fishing. Now all the ins and outs of it, dealing with your boss, dealing with your lures and things you want to use, dealing with your access to the water, dealing with your wife, dealing with doing it before or after, going fishing with your friends, or telling people what you're doing when they ask. That's another side of the thing, and I talk about that on my online course, Everyday Fishing System. But if you don't need that, cool. Just go fishing. I would love to see you out here. A line of fishermen, they call it spot burning. Oh man, all these guys are on my spot. Now I can't catch anything. Oh, woe is me. Sorry. Sorry that people are fishing. Could be alone, which is also great for relaxation. But I'd like to learn more about fishing from other people, where to go, what to do, how to do it, and form some nice relationships. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'll run into somebody who actually has a boat along the shoreline here. But now I could actually do some better boating. I can't afford my own boat, other than the inflatable one I have, and I need a motor, so that's more money. Just like most things. Once you buy in, you think you got it, woohoo! You know, it's more cost, so more money. Anyway, I guess I can't cut this out because I talked the whole time. Let's try out further down in the other corner, and then we're gonna call this a wrap. Didn't catch anything, you know, boo-hoo for me. But just being outside, it's warm, 67 degrees a day. Well, it's gonna be like 59 right now. And I'm out here with my fishing pole at lunchtime, and my coworkers are probably thinking about work, and I'm thinking about fishing. Which do you think is better? Oh, also, if you've tried this out, if you've gotten a result, this works for you, you just did something very simple and tried to go fishing, email me. Email me and tell me. Send me some pictures of, like, you know, you having fun. Maybe you brought some friends with you. Send me a picture, send me a video. I would love to see it. I would love to see more people doing this sort of thing. I've read about it. Big publishers, you know, people in the Cape Cod Canal, they do it all the time. They get up real early and they hit that canal at the right tide and they light them up. And you know, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's the only people I know who do it religiously. And there's also another big group that's really into this is surf fishermen, because they know the bite happens in the early morning and the late evening, right? When that sun hits the edge of the water, that's when the fish start feeding. And that's a natural thing everywhere, but it's even more indicative when you're fishing from the surf, and even better when the tides are right. So that's a hardcore group. I don't have access to the ocean like that, because I don't have an ocean that close to my house and getting to it. I've tried to work through the logistics, but guess what? My job is moving right next to the water at the seaport. So I'm going to be at Castle Island come May. So if you're around Castle Island fishing during the middle of the day or early morning or late evening, you might see the white bear. And if you do, say hi. So let's reel this puppy in. It looks like part of my worm is gone. I don't know what to say about that. So it seems that even though I came to the other side of this esplanade area, I'm still not getting a bite, and I still haven't seen a fish other than the one that jumped. Not sure what kind of fish it was or what it was doing, what it was chasing, but I see no activity currently on the Charles River. Maybe a little further down, a little deeper in the drops, somewhere where I can't readily assess it. From a boat, you're getting that action. I'm sure if you hit those drops, those big holes in the Mass Ave Bridge, you might get into some action, but right here from shoreline, not getting much from anything. I expected a few bluegills to be up here just to get started making the beds, but maybe not. I want to hit the other side of this area, which opens up to the main river on the closer to the town area, and see if something isn't by an old log where I've caught many bass sitting and waiting, and we'll call it there. Well, it seems that the fish just weren't cooperating today, and they just aren't here. At least not for me. Maybe they're deeper. Maybe they don't want live bait. That would be odd. But maybe it's just not time. Now, if you're fishing the Charles River, maybe you want to wait a couple weeks. Wait for more stable, warm weather. It will be dropping down below the 60s and the 40s very soon. And once you've reached stable levels above 50, that's when I suspect you're going to start to see those fish roaming back into the low-lying areas and into the shallows, which is where we shore fishermen, who have more time to fish from shore than we do from the boat, will get our action when we want it, whether it be in the morning, during lunch, in the afternoon, late at night, or any other time that you are capable of doing it. Now, if you want to learn more, please go to my YouTube channel, Fishing Network, or go to my website, fishingnetwork.com. And from there, you can get your free How to Catch More and Bigger Bass PDF just by signing up with your email. And you can also get the Everyday Fishing System, which will show you how you can go fishing more often. Now, get out there and go fishing.